Hey everybody, late breakfast poetry life. I slept really late. I'm like living the poet life here. I have a goblet of Fruity Pebbles that I'm not going to eat in front of you. That would be disgusting. But it's definitely National Poetry Month, day 6, I believe we are at. So welcome to Breakfast Poetry Live. It's a beautiful morning. I've got this creepy ray of light coming in because of my spotlight, and my laptop camera is different from my phone camera without making judgment. And I have this cup that says, "Poe me a cup," and it has Edgar Allan Poe on it. So hashtag blessed, right? Like my son always says. It's funnier when he says it. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so what we're going to do is sally forth with the Weird Works in Progress for April 6th, 2023, National Poetry Month. There is the ache. I don't know its name. What does it know, and why does it shine? It's intriguing. It's fascinating. I hate it. Something is loose in my mind, rattling loose in my faith, unhinged and unstrung in the soul. Hark to the genuine rain. Set recordings aside. The end. Definitely smacks of nighttime gibberish. And there's a collection title, Nighttime Gibberish, because I'm reading from my Weird Works in Progress, which are notes typed into the notes app in the middle of the night, completely forgotten, and then revisited at the coffee shop in a panic last Friday when I realized Saturday was the first day of National Poetry Month. Oh, I have my Hot Poet shirt on. Oh, wait. Hey, it's frontwards. Is it frontwards? Or can I read backwards? Yeah, it's frontwards. I thought we were backwards. I think I flipped my camera without. Maybe that's a new option. But anyway, in a panic that National Poetry Month was coming, and I was like, I need to read something every day. What will I do? What will I do? Oh, I'll look at my Weird Works in Progress, and it turns out there's more than enough. So, hooray! It all came together. We'll see how it goes. Now, if you've been tuning in, the first 4 days on Instagram at Hipness_and_Outrage, then you will know that we do every day a beautiful word drawing starting on day 1. And then the next day, I will read a poem that I have written in that, using that word either as a theme or as just a word in the poem. And yesterday's word was picturesque. So I'm going to read picturesque. Beautiful word poem right now. Something awoke in the night, something awoke in the soul. Ghost became substance in spite of the contrary, seemingly, goal. Something awakened in jewels, seams reknit, joined back together, bathed in a lightning that fuels the dancer in snapping of tether. Tetherless carol along to all picturesque glimmering airs. I sing my exuberant song, regardless if anyone cares. Picturesque. A rhymer. I was thinking of Walt Whitman. I mean, I don't know that he's that sing-song, but he's definitely singing everything. One of our, sometimes classified as a romantic poet, sometimes transcendentalist. And we've been talking some about the romantics this week. And on that score, I found a really interesting romantic poet whose name I'd heard, but I had never investigated, John Clare, who lived 1795 to 1864. In English, in England and in English. Yes, he wrote in English. Wonderfully, I'm sorry, I don't mean this. There was difficult times and did end up in an insane asylum, as they termed them back then. And so, written in Northampton Country Asylum, I am. Yet what I am, who cares or knows? My friends forsake me like a memory lost. I am the self-consumer of my woes. They rise and vanish, an oblivious host, shadows of life whose very soul is lost. And yet I live, though I am tossed into the nothingness of scorn and noise, into the living sea of waking dream, where there is neither sense of life nor joys, but the huge shipwreck of my own esteem and all that's dear. Even those I love the best are strange, nay, they are stranger than the rest. I long for scenes where man has never trod, for scenes where woman never smiled or wept, there to abide with my Creator, God, and sleep as I in childhood sweetly slept, full of high thoughts unborn, so let me lie at the grass below, above the vaulted sky. John Clare, written in Northampton Country Asylum. And so he wrote, I found an article that I will put in the comments, I think, afterwards, because I still don't know what I'm doing on StreamYard. And I feel like if I put it in the comments now, it might not show up. I don't know. I have to look into these things. It's been a busy week. And so I really, today, on the third of 3 days off in a row, this is the first day where it's like, there's just, well, on the one hand, there's nothing to do, but on the other hand, I get to catch up on all the things that I need to do, like some preparations for stuff coming up next week and washing the dishes, for example. So, pour me a cup and ground Poe, beloved, sometimes termed romantic poet, sometimes gothic. Alrighty, John Clare. Anyway, found an article about John Clare and somebody else whose name I've already forgotten. And it's basically on notes, on poetry that has been written in insane asylums, and also connected to that article are other articles of things written in hospitals, various hospitals, and I found that interesting. The beautiful word, of course, for today was picturesque. For tomorrow, let's draw from the can. Word balls, blazing hot. Beautiful words, blazing hot. All right, what will the poem contain for tomorrow? And that word is sumptuous. Trying to find where to hold it so it looks like sumptuous. Okay, so that will be a wonderful word to explore between today and tomorrow. If you would like to join me in that exploration, maybe come up with a few lines of your own, send them my way. I would go to @Hipness_and_outrage, my Instagram, and message it there. That's probably the easiest thing to say. So, sumptuous tomorrow. And finally, we have actually I've added a last thing to kind of include when I can, but let us look at a poetry hat, stocking hat in blue, 4 poetry hats where we take a line of nighttime gibberish and put it on we just inscribe it onto a lino cut block print poetry hat. This week is a stocking hat. What's for tomorrow? What's for today? And that is, he stood towering, though shadowy, from his travels. And I feel like that line does appear in a line of poetry from my book up there where I'm pointing, Wassail to the Mausoleum Cakes, which is entirely themed around Christmas ghost stories, some in poetry, some in prose. And I feel like I found that line or found a version of that poem, put it in my weird works in progress, and then gleaned from it, but didn't take it out. So I'm like, well, that's good enough to let's do it again, right? I mean, shadowy from his travels, I'm heartbroken. So I'm excited about today's poetry hat and tomorrow's beautiful words poem. I thought the last thing I would put on the list for what to do during Breakfast Poetry Live is maybe a book recommendation every once in a while. I'm going to look through my poetry books and see how many I've read or read enough from that I could maybe say a little something about it. The Milk Bowl of Feathers is an excellent book. Essential surrealistic writings. Essential surrealist writings. And so we were on the romantics this week, but I love this book, The Milk Bowl of Feathers, which introduced me to Andre Breton, who I did a Christmas card block print of a couple of years ago, where instead of the cigar, he has a candy cane, just like Bender on Futurama. I did take that idea, but it was also, I love candy canes. First time I ever read Andre Breton, Leonora Carrington. I have one of her books around here somewhere. I have one of her fiction books, and she is wonderfully surrealist and also does visual art. So you could look into Leonora Carrington. You could look into Andre Breton, who wrote this beautiful letter. And I feel like these might be in the public domain, but I don't know. But it's anyway, I put so many notes in it. I kind of wish I had done here because like this is so much better. Like I write, oh my gosh, I think I wrote a poem here. Wow, maybe in a couple of days, I'll see if that works. I Dreamed of You So Much is the title, translated by Paul Austen, who wrote it. Whose chapter are we on here? No, Love Is Not Dead. I got to find out the dates on these because now I'm just Robert Desnos. Oh, he was good. Yeah, so I'm going to look through these, and if I can share one tomorrow, without fear of reprisal, I will do so. But otherwise, it's a small book. It's not expensive. You can probably find it at the library. maybe. My library is a little square sometimes. I didn't just say that. I'm sorry. I think I like weird things, but you can always get things from interlibrary loan instead of just within the regular hold system, which takes longer and is never a guarantee. But always worth a shot if you are feeling the pinch, which we often are. Well, thank you very much for joining me today for Breakfast Poetry Live, late and hedonistic with my goblet of Fruity Pebbles that I'm going to put milk on here in a minute. May I share with you again, if you're familiar with my work, you might already know about my, however you pronounce it, emetophobia, emetophobia, fear of emesis, which is vomit, and the phenomenon of, oh no, I ate something and vomited it, can never eat it again. Fruity Pebbles, threw it up on Christmas Day, 1983, when I was 9 years old, but I still love them. It's the only food this is true about. It's not like I threw up because of Fruity Pebbles. It was an unrelated 9-year-old circumstance wherein, you just like throw up a lot because of germs and stuff. And so it was Christmas night, the night of Christmas Day. And I was like, my stomach kind of doesn't feel good. And my mom said, you know what, maybe you need to eat something and, that'll help. And I was like, well, that doesn't sound right, but okay. And in fact, it did not help, but I still love Fruity Pebbles forever and ever. Amen. All right. Have a glorious Thursday, April 6th, 2023, or in future. Thank you for joining me live or in future. And I hope you will find some, here's some poetry for you. Just rewind back to the beginning or go out and explore some poetry on your own. Share some poetry with the world. See you tomorrow.